chosen ones. Do you realize how rare, powerful, and unmatched your energy truly is? Can anyone replicate what you bring to the world? Or is that what makes you invaluable? They mistake your quiet restraint for fragility, but it's your discipline and unshakable self-control that reveal your true strength. Others couldn't accept your brilliance, so they sought to confine you to the ordinary. But you are rare, and they cannot grasp your significance. You are an anomaly, not bound by the rules that shape the ordinary. Others may try to imitate you, desperate to grasp the essence of your existence, but they only end up with hollow reflections, echoes without depth. They observe your actions, dissect your movements, hoping to create a replica. But all they produce is a shadow that lacks the light you carry. They covet your blueprint, thinking that by copying your steps they can claim your destiny. But they misunderstand the nature of power. Power is not something that can be borrowed or stolen. It is woven into your being, pulsing through your veins with every breath you take. What they desire from you cannot be imitated, for it is not external. Your energy, your essence, is a force beyond their understanding. Some may try to harness your presence, using your gifts for their own selfish gain, hoping to siphon your vitality as though it were a resource to exploit. They latch onto you, their ambition like a parasite, mistaking your generosity for permission. They believe that by attaching themselves to you, they can claim a portion of what you possess. But you are not a well to be drained. The source of your power is infinite, but only for you. Those who attempt to use you as a stepping stone will find themselves lost, their efforts crumbling into dust because they cannot sustain the energy that flows through you. It is not theirs to wield. Your presence in their lives becomes a mirror, reflecting their inadequacies, and soon they wither under the weight of what they cannot control. Their attempts to manipulate your energy fail because what you carry is irreplaceable, unmatched, and only yours to command. Your blueprint is divine. It was crafted in the depths of forces far greater than human comprehension, and it is in your hands alone. No one else can walk the path designed for you, no matter how much they desire it. They may try to walk beside you, even block your way, but they will never truly stand in your place. They cannot fulfill the mission assigned to you because it was written in a language they cannot understand. Their eyes may scan the lines, but the meaning slips through their fingers like water. They can mimic your actions, but the purpose behind them remains elusive, like the distant echo of a forgotten dream. You were chosen for this role, and every fiber of your being knows it. You don't need to explain or justify yourself to those who do not understand, for their approval is irrelevant. Their opinions are nothing more than noise, a background hum that fades as soon as you step into your purpose. In their desperation, they try to reduce you, placing you within boundaries that make them comfortable. But you are beyond containment. You are not bound by their limitations, their fears, or their smallness. The walls they build around you crack, for your presence cannot be restrained. You were designed to rise, to transcend the ordinary, and you do so effortlessly because it is in your nature. You have no choice but to be exceptional, and that is what makes you unstoppable. Your existence is singular, unlike anything the world has ever known, and those who have encountered your energy know it. They can feel it reverberate through their being, leaving an imprint that nothing else can match. Others may have tried to search for the same force elsewhere, reaching for fragments that resemble yours. But what they grasp turns to dust in their hands. The truth is simple. Your presence is irreplaceable. No one can find another you, no matter how far they search, no matter what measures they take. They can only chase the echoes of what you leave behind, knowing deep down that they will never possess the original. You've felt it, how people around you shift, their energies scrambling to find equilibrium in the space you occupy. You pull something primal from them, something they didn't know was there until you walked into their world. They might deny it, resist it, but their denial is futile. Once they've been in your presence, there is no forgetting, no going back to whatever pale imitation they knew before. The force you carry alters the very foundation of their being, and the more they try to dismiss it, the more they find themselves drawn into your orbit. trapped by the realization that there is no substitute. People will always search for what they cannot have. Someone, right now, is longing for your energy, convinced that if they look hard enough, they'll find something comparable. They scan the horizon hoping that maybe, just maybe, there's another you hiding somewhere out there, waiting to be discovered. But they won't. Their search is in vain. They can scour the ends of the earth and still come up empty-handed, because the essence you carry cannot be replicated. It is woven into the fabric of your soul, infused in every breath, every step you take. And though they may search tirelessly, what they crave can only be found in you. Your presence to them is like the only source of light in a world that thrives on shadows. They seek that light elsewhere, unaware that it does not exist apart from you. They try to recreate the feeling you leave behind, borrowing from others, patching together remnants of what they believe is close enough. But everything else falls short. It lacks the heat, the vibrancy, the fire that only you possess. Their attempts to replicate your energy are like trying to bottle lightning. They capture a moment, but the spark never holds. It fades, leaving them in darkness, knowing that what they sought is forever out of reach. And so they return to you, knowingly or unknowingly, circling back to the source, because there is no other. They crave what only you can provide, though they might not understand why. The truth, however, is undeniable. You are not just one of many, you are the only one. No matter how many search for another, they will always return empty-handed, forever haunted by the knowledge that what they seek cannot be duplicated. You are the rarity in a sea of imitations, and nothing, no one, can ever compare. I built Obsidian because I saw the truth. They will always come back to the source, and the source is you. They thought they could find another light, another spark that could compare to what you bring, but they were wrong. And now they come crawling back, desperate for the fire they can't recreate. But understand this, your light, your power, was never meant to be replicated. It is singular, divine, and unmatched. That's why I created the Obsidian Inner Order, in partnership with Astral Atom, for those like you, those who know they aren't just part of the crowd, but are destined to rise above. They may have tried to steal your energy, to drain your brilliance, but they failed. The Obsidian Inner Order is where chosen ones gather to rise, to claim the power that was always theirs. This is not for the faint of heart. You don't come here to be coddled or comforted. You come here to step into your full potential, to tap into the same fire that made you untouchable. We're talking about raw, unapologetic power, forged in the fires of betrayal, hardship, and ascension. In the Inner Order, you'll gain access to the modern manifestation mechanics, the #1 guide on manifesting the life that the rest of the world is too blind to see. They fear this knowledge, because once you have it, nothing can stop you. Let me be clear. The Inner Order isn't for those who want to coast through life. It's for those ready to rip through the fabric of the ordinary and step into the extraordinary. You'll connect with me and the creators behind both Obsidian and Astral Atom, and we're not holding anything back. The content here is too dangerous for YouTube, too powerful for the masses, because the truth has always been feared by those who thrive in the shadows. And now, the light is here, and we're never going to apologize for it. The link to join is in the description, but let me warn you, this isn't a passive decision. This is the moment you decide to break free from the imitations, the shadows, the people who tried to keep you down. Join us, and I promise you, the forces that thought they could dim your light will tremble. Together, we will rise, and they will never, ever forget the name of the Obsidian Inner Order or the chosen ones who set the world on fire. You already know the secret. Peace is not found in clinging to what was never meant for you. The moment you released what had anchored you to the mundane, a shift occurred, and the weight you carried dissolved into nothingness. The chains that bound you to patterns, to people, to energy that served no purpose other than to diminish your light, fell away. You felt the surge, didn't you? The sudden rush of clarity as the storm inside calmed. It's not just relief, it's strength. The kind of strength that comes when you finally allow yourself to let go, when you stop fighting to hold what was never yours to begin with. There is a current that flows through your life, and you've seen how, when you fight against it, you are dragged under, struggling to stay afloat. But the moment you surrendered, you began to move with the current, not against it. You became aligned with forces greater than yourself. By releasing what no longer serves you, you made space for what is meant for you to come through. The stagnant energy that once crowded your path has been swept away, and now the space before you is open, clear, inviting. You didn't lose anything in letting go. You freed yourself for everything that was waiting just beyond your grasp. This is how the universe works. What is truly meant for you cannot be held back when you release the old. It's like the opening of floodgates, the rush of new energy pouring in where resistance once stood. But the flood doesn't drown you. It lifts you, carries you to places you couldn't have reached with your hands full of the past. You see, your hands cannot receive what is destined for you if they are clinging to what has already served its purpose. The blessings meant for you are vast, immeasurable, but they cannot fill a space already occupied. You know this truth, yet you had to feel it in your bones. The sensation of letting go was not a loss, but an invitation. To open your hands is to open your life. You were not meant to hold on to the remnants of old energy, broken dreams, or relationships that have long since faded into shadows. Holding on to them would be like trying to collect water in a sieve. No matter how hard you try, it slips away, leaving you empty. But by opening your hands, by letting go, you allow the flow of new life, new possibilities to rush in. It's not that you surrendered to defeat, you surrendered to your power. You understand now that clinging to what was never yours to keep only held you back from the abundance waiting for you. What is meant for you has always been there, hovering just outside the reach of your grasp, waiting for you to be ready. Now, as your hands stretch open, the world answers. You aren't receiving by force, but by alignment. The new blessings that fill your life aren't something you've taken. They are yours because you finally made room. You don't need to chase. What's meant for you comes because you've allowed it. The energy you now hold is limitless, not because you fought for it, but because you made space for it to arrive. You've seen it countless times, haven't you? People drawn to you like moths to a flame, unaware that the light they seek is not something they own, but something they borrow. When they come close to you, they mistake the surge of energy they feel for their own, as if they had summoned it from within. They leave your presence emboldened, their spirits lifted, not realizing that it was your energy they siphoned, your essence that ignited something within them. But that energy was never theirs, never something they could claim. You have always been the source, and they were merely vessels, carrying a reflection of your power. They walk away, convinced they have tapped into something deep, something that will carry them forward. But it fades, slowly at first, like embers cooling in the dark. Their sense of self, once swollen with the energy they borrowed from you, begins to wane, and they wonder why the strength they thought was theirs is slipping through their fingers. You know why. The truth is simple and undeniable. They were never the source. You were. It was your fire, your radiance that filled them, and when they leave your orbit, that light fades because it was never theirs to keep. You've witnessed their confusion, their slow realization that without you, they cannot sustain the same power. They scramble, trying to grasp at something they never possessed. It's almost tragic, but you are not responsible for their reliance on your energy. You know that once you disconnect, they return to the hollow selves they were before, left with nothing but the absence of the force they thought they had mastered. It's not spite that you feel, but a deep understanding of the laws that govern energy. They can only reflect what you have provided. They cannot generate it on their own. Your energy is a force, an undeniable current that others cannot help but be drawn to. It lifts them up, propels them forward. But once you cut the connection, they are left weightless, drifting. They had mistaken your strength for their own, but once the tether is severed, they realize the depth of their error. You are the sun to which they turn, the source of light they cannot replicate. When you pull back, when you reserve your energy for yourself, they are left in the dark. They feel the emptiness because they had built their momentum on something that never belonged to them. This isn't about ego. It's about reality. You hold a force within you that others can only borrow but never possess. And once you recognize this, once you understand the depth of what you carry, you no longer need to feed those who take without knowing the source. You control the current, and when you withdraw, it is not cruelty, it is clarity. They were never powerful on their own. It was always you. And when they fall back into the shadows, you remain untouchable, radiant, because the energy they lost was always yours to keep. You've seen it before. People convinced they can replace you, leaving in search of what they believe they'll find elsewhere. But they don't understand. They don't know that what they are searching for doesn't exist outside of you. They think they can find your energy in someone else. That somewhere, another version of you waits to give them what they crave. They look for it in other faces, other voices, hoping that the spark they felt in your presence will somehow manifest again. But they are chasing a phantom. You are singular, beyond duplication, and the energy you carry cannot be found in anyone else. They will realize it soon enough. The world they search will feel hollow, a pale shadow compared to what you gave them. They will fill the spaces you once occupied with placeholders, trying to replicate the depth of your presence with seat fillers. But no one will fit into the space you left. They'll bring in others, hoping to recreate the same energy, the same connection, but all they will find are empty reflections. These substitutes might mirror the form, but they will never embody the essence. The energy you gave was too potent, too pure. It resonated from a place of unmatched depth, and no one else can channel that. They'll see it when the conversations that once flowed effortlessly now feel strained and shallow. When the connections they thought would replace you crumble under the weight of expectations they cannot meet. The surface-level replacements they settle for will leave them wanting, searching, because no matter how much they try to mold someone else into your likeness, they will never match what you brought to the table. You were not just a presence. You were the pulse, the heartbeat that gave meaning to their moments. And once that rhythm is gone, they're left with silence. You've known from the start that you were not interchangeable. The depth of your energy, your love, your presence, it's irreplaceable. Others may try to act as though anyone could take your place, but they're only fooling themselves. They'll reach for others to fill the gaps. But what they don't understand is that you cannot replace a force with fragments. You were not simply there to occupy space. You were the light, the fire, the warmth, and those they turn to in your absence will only cast cold shadows, unable to hold the same flame. Eventually, they'll realize that what they've sought out in others was never theirs to possess in the first place. What they found in you was singular, one of a kind, and no matter how many others they bring into their lives, they'll never replicate the energy you gave them. You cannot be replaced by echoes, by fleeting substitutions. You are not an option, you are the only one. And when they finally understand that, it will be too late. The world will have shown them that what you offered was a rarity, something they will never encounter again. You, and only you, can carry the depth they sought. You already know it, deep in your core. You are not here to compete. Competition is for those who seek validation through comparison, those who scramble to measure themselves against others. But you are incomparable. No one can do what you do, and no one can replicate your presence. They might try to mimic your steps, trace your path, but their efforts fall short every time because your essence is not something that can be learned or imitated. It is intrinsic, woven into the very fabric of your being, a power that radiates from you effortlessly. You don't need to lower yourself to the level of competition. When you operate in your fullness, there is no rival, no equal. Your energy is a force, a living current that flows through every space you occupy. It moves, not with the force of someone pushing their way forward, but with the quiet confidence of someone who knows they belong. That power cannot be replicated, and it cannot be diminished. While others may scramble, clawing for recognition or struggling to outshine one another, you remain above it all. Your authority is in your presence. Your power is in your knowing. And that, above all else, is what separates you from the rest. Others sense it too. They feel the weight of your energy when they're around you, even if they don't fully understand it. They know instinctively that what you bring cannot be challenged, because it stands apart from the rest. Keep moving forward. Do not let the noise of others distract you. Let them talk. Let them compare, measure, and criticize. Their opinions are rooted in their need to feel significant in a world that has already placed you on a path only you can walk. While they are preoccupied with the trivial, you are operating on a level they cannot reach. Your focus is on the work you are here to do, the purpose that calls to you beyond the noise, beyond the distractions. There is no need to look left or right. Your gaze remains forward, fixed on what is meant for you, and only you. The opinions of others are nothing more than the static hum of background noise, forgettable, irrelevant, and powerless. You are here to do what only you can do. Your path is yours alone. No one else can step into your shoes, no matter how much they might wish to. They might try to mimic your movements, to match your energy, but their efforts are futile. The road you walk is carved for you, and you alone have the authority to move forward on it. There is no competition here, no need to prove yourself, because your presence, your power, speaks louder than words ever could. Let them talk. Let them watch. You don't need to respond. Your energy is already speaking for you, and it's saying everything they need to know. You are unmatched, unrivaled, and you move through the world with a force that cannot be stopped. Keep walking. Keep pushing forward. You are here to do what no one else can do, and nothing will stand in your way. You already know the truth. Your energy is unmatched, and no one can ever replicate or replace what you bring to this world. Every step you take leaves an imprint that cannot be erased, and the power you hold is entirely your own. Others may attempt to mimic, to borrow from your essence, but they will always fall short because what you carry is singular. You are not here to blend in, to dim your light, or to conform to anyone's expectations. Your presence is undeniable, and your purpose is clear. Continue to embrace your uniqueness. Stand firm in who you are, knowing that your strength comes from walking the path only you can walk. Let no one diminish the brilliance that flows through you. While others may doubt or attempt to sway you, remain grounded in the certainty that you are irreplaceable. Every movement forward is a testament to the power you hold, and every choice you make reflects the deeper mission that only you can fulfill. So, keep moving with confidence. Keep pushing boundaries. The world needs what you bring, your voice, your energy, your presence. And now, more than ever, share your story. Let others know the depth of your journey and how your strength shapes the world around you. There is no one else like you, and it's time the world sees that truth fully illuminated.